You should have seen the outtake when I was trying to uncoil this blade. Maybe I'll run it at the end of this series. Anyway, it put a smile on my face. But one of the interesting things about videoing myself doing something is I can tell exactly how long it takes to do it. I just check the time on the video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see how long does it take me to change the blade on this bandsaw. So I guess 1, 2, 3, go! Well, except for adjusting the tracking, which I do periodically anyway, it's basically changed. So we'll check the video file and see how long it actually took me. Well, I guess some of you noticed I got a little over exuberant here and I did forget a couple of steps. Okay, now we're done. Well, altogether that was 8 minutes and 20 seconds. For the money, this bandsaw is pretty good. However, that can't be said about the fence. This fence is, you might say it's a flimsy piece of, well, I don't like to use four-letter words in my workshop, but the word rhymes with ship. So we'll say it's a flimsy piece of word that rhymes with ship. Well, this epoxy is set overnight now. If it got any harder, it'd be brittle. Remember in video number 9, I had gone to great pains to make sure that this board and this board were at right angles to each other. The reason for that is because this table is at right angles to the blade. And so I thought that, well, if I have everything at right angles, it should be right. But what I realized afterwards is that all I had to do was make sure that I adjusted the table so that it was the same distance from here to here as it was from here to here. Would have been a little easier, but anyway. So okay, before I run this disc through the bandsaw, I want to check to make sure I don't have excessive bandsaw drift. So I'm going to just run a piece of scrap through here. And we'll brace up our flimsy fence, and just to make sure everything's going to be pretty much okay. Well, depending on how you look at it, it's pretty good, and that's the way I remember it from the last time I used it. I remember the last time I tried to set the drift, one minute I think it's one way and the next minute I think it's the other way, so it was pretty well dead straight, so we'll just leave it dead straight. And I'll just keep an eye on it as it's going through the disc. If I find that it's getting really out of hand, I'll just stop. I want to have this as low as possible, and yet I want to make sure that it's not going to catch. I think that's about it. And one more little check here. I think that's pretty close as well. Now I know I had said I wanted to take off approximately 1/2 inch, but I think I'm probably safer taking off about 3/8 of an inch. And that way I can always slowly sand it down to the thickness I need, just in case something's going to go wrong. Well, here goes. and it's okay. This blade does do a nice job. It has a really nice thin curve to it. I like that. It's a lot better than an ordinary blade. However, it's not what you'd say ultra smooth or remarkably smooth as advertised. So, knowing what I know now, would I shell out the extra for another one if I had to replace it? Most likely. Now, I think the easiest way to adjust the thickness of this dial board so that it will accommodate the dial is to drill the hole in it and then just keep fitting the movement to the board until I've got it sanded down just right. Okay, so clearly we have to take it down about 1/16 of an inch, maybe a little more. I had originally intended to use the sled and pass this ring through on the sled, and that way I'd avoid getting any snipe. However, this is the back. Nobody's going to see the snipe anyway, but you are going to see the front of this ring. And I've noticed that when I put something small through the sled, it has a tendency to rub back and forth. And I don't want to get the face of this ring scuffed up. So I think I'm just going to put it straight on the rubber here and give that a try. Okay, that was 4 passes. I don't know if you can see it or not. If I can get the light just right, maybe you can. But this right here is snipe. This section here is probably 1/1000th of an inch thinner than this section here. But like I say, nobody's going to be seeing the back anyway. I do believe that that's enough. You know, I've mentioned this before, but the older I get, the harder it is to get these nuts on.